Want to be a topper in MBA entrance exams? Join BYJU'S Exam Prep, CAT and MBA YouTube channel and watch serial 99 percentilers teaching you the tips and tricks.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon to all of you and welcome all of you to the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. My dear friends, I am Gaurav Gupta and I once again welcome all of you to the series of sessions on the YouTube that we are conducting for all of you for your preparation for CAT 2022. Now, before we'll start the session, can you please confirm, those students who are already live in this session, can you all please quickly confirm if I am audible and visible to all of you? All right, so Arbaz, good afternoon. A warm welcome to you. Other students as well, can you please quickly confirm if I am audible and visible to all of you? Okay, friends, so I've got a confirmation. Great. So let us begin with this session. So I'll first of all welcome all of you to our next session on the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. Now, friends, June is almost over and we all are preparing for CAT 2022. All right. So some of us might have might have covered considerably good amount of syllabus, and some of you would have started who would have started in the month of April or May. They must be preparing for this CAT 2022 examination in full throttle. Okay. Now we can say that all of us might be entering the test series, the most important, the last phase of our preparation, probably in the month of July or August. That means the next month or maybe the month after that. Okay, so we'll be entering this test series, and most of us, when we enter the test series, we actually don't have any kind of direction as to how to attempt these examinations. How many mocks should I take? What should be the frequency of a mock? How do I do a proper analysis of a mock so that I can improve in the next mock? So what happens is, at the beginning stages, what we do is we end up wasting 5 or 6 mocks in understanding basically how to attempt these mocks. Okay, now 5-6 mocks, that means it's a duration of 20-25 days. So we end up wasting these 20-25 days, which we should be investing in planning a particular strategy for the mocks, because initial mocks are very important as far as our confidence level is concerned. Okay, so today in this session, I'll be telling you what should be the right way of attempting these initial mocks. How should we start with the test series? So we'll be making a particular strategy at the beginning or before we start taking these mocks. So हम क्या करेंगे, जो भी strategy हमें बनानी है, will not be waiting for 5-6 mocks to pass over, and will not wait for a failure in 5 or 6 mocks and then devising up a strategy. What we'll be doing is, today when we have met, we'll be devising a particular strategy that we can use from day one of the mock test series. All right. Also in this session, I'll be telling you how to basically select and reject the questions. All right. Obviously in CAT, it is difficult to attempt 100% of the questions. So we need to prioritize these questions. We need to prioritize these questions based on certain factors so that we can increase the number of our attempts. All right. So in this session, we'll also be learning a way of basically increasing our number of attempts by mastering the strategy of selecting and rejecting the questions. All right. We'll not be solving any kind of questions. The strategies that I'm going to tell you are very basic, are very simple. All of us knows these things. But the only problem is, despite of knowing all these things, we don't apply, we don't basically incorporate all these things in the strategy that we devise for mock papers as well as CAT. Okay, so when we have good amount of time to start with the test series, why not start applying all those techniques starting now on, so that we don't have to keep on reminding ourselves at the time of test series to apply these kind of strategies. Yes, we can start applying these strategies from today only. I'm not asking you to start taking the mock paper. Mock paper abhi se nahi dena hai. Okay, so mock test series, it can be taken as per your plan. Okay, so what I am saying is, we are not starting with the mock papers, but still we are going for the practice of this particular strategy so that we don't have to remind ourselves later on at the time of mock papers. All right. Now, the foremost important step that you must take when you are taking any kind of paper or any kind of mock paper, be it a sectional test, be it a topic test, be it a mock paper, one important thing is you must prepare a table like this. All right. So this table seems to be very simple, but you must prepare a table like this. You can prepare this table for separate subjects. So let's say, like right now, the table that you can see, I have prepared this type of table for the mock test series. So when you enter mock test series, you can prepare this kind of table. All right. But let's say you still have 1.5 months to start with the mock test series. So what should be done at this point in time? Okay, so now you can make this kind of table separately for all the three subjects. There should be a separate table for quant, which will have, so instead of sections, when you are preparing a table for quant, instead of sections, you can write areas or topics. All right, so you can write areas or topics, and here you can write percentages, ratios, mixtures, allegations, time, speed, distance, time and work, or you can club the entire area together, as in arithmetic का एक column बन जाएगा, algebra का अलग column बन जाएगा, modern maths, geometry and number systems. Okay, so depending upon what type of test you are taking, if you are taking topic test, so then you can populate the first column with the name of the topics like percentages, ratios, mixtures, allegations, and so on and so forth. Otherwise, if you have already started with area test or sectional test, then you can populate these columns with the areas like arithmetic, algebra, modern maths, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now I'll discuss this table from the point of view of a mock test series. Now, whenever we take a particular mock, we have three sections. Okay, we'll write the maximum scores in the second column. So let's say we have 20, 20 and 20 questions in each of the three sections. So the maximum score will be 60, 60 and 60. Now, if you are repeating this exercise after every mock, before and after every mock, that means I am guaranteeing you, that means you are increasing your mock scores by at least 5 to 10% in every mock. All right, so maximum score likh diya. Now you can write your current score. So let's say we are preparing this table for mock 1, or after mock 1 we are preparing this table after mock 1 for mock 2. Okay, so mock 1 khatam ho chuka hai. This is for mock number 2. So you can write your current score. So your score from the previous mock paper. Similarly, your score can be from the previous test in case you are taking topic test or the sectional test. So let's say if I have scored, let's say 17 in verbal, 20 in LRDI and 25 in quant. Okay, now as per these three scores, you can set the target for the next mock paper. Okay, now what you can do is, initially if your scores are a little on lower sides, then you must plan your target scores at least 10 to 15% above the scores of the previous test. Okay, so this is the first step, right? Now let's say the target score for VARC, I kept it as 20. Now for LRDI 23, and for QA I have 28. Now to achieve these scores, what should be my target attempts? What should be the minimum number of attempts I need to achieve to target this score? Okay, now it totally depends on the accuracy at which you are setting at. We cannot have same accuracy percentage in the three sections. Okay, in general, in quant section and in LRDI sections, our accuracy is more if we are strong in these areas. If you are strong in verbal, then our accuracy in verbal will be more. Okay, so let's say my verbal accuracy is less. So I'll say that fine, I'll target 10 questions, I'll attempt 10 questions and I'll get this score. For LRDI, it may be possible after attempting 8 or 9 questions, you may score this many marks. Okay, so again, LRDI, I can target 10 questions, and Quant, I can target 10 to 12 questions. All right, fine. So this is the targets that you have set for yourself, and then attempt the next mock and finally write your scores which you have achieved in this mock in the last column. Okay, now same thing must do with the overall scores combined for 3 sections. Okay, now after taking the second mock, whatever scores you have achieved, now compare these scores with your previous mock's score as well as the score that you have achieved in this particular mock, and find out what was the mistakes that you have committed in this particular mock because of which you are unable to reach the desired target. Okay, now this is the very first step. Now, what can be the different mistakes? Obviously, at the initial stages, we don't have sense of selecting the questions. Which questions should I be selecting? Which questions should I be rejecting? So at the end of first few mocks, or this question may arise till the end as well, that which question should I attempt to maximize my score? So कौन-कौन से questions target करने हैं, कौन-कौन से questions छोड़ देने हैं? Okay, so what should be my strategy? What type of questions should I look at? What type of questions should I get into and start solving them? This particular question will arise every time you are taking a mock or you have finished taking a mock. Now, how to basically get rid of this particular dilemma? All right. Now the answer is as simple as A, B, C. Yes, actually. Now this particular thing should be there in your mind. The answer is as simple as ABC. Okay. Now what is this ABC approach? Let us spend some time in understanding what this ABC approach is. Okay. So what I have done is I have used this particular approach. I have taught all my students this particular approach at every time. Now the only problem is people start realizing and using this kind of approach when they have already wasted 5 or 6 mocks. Now we have good time in hand. That is why I've planned this session in the month of July, because most of us must be entering our test series in the month of July or August. So right now at the end of June, what we can do is we can understand this strategy and start applying this particular strategy at different stages so that we have enough amount of practice for this strategy and this can be applied in every test that we are taking. All right. So now let us have a look at what is this ABC approach. Now this particular approach has these 5 steps that are there in front of you. Now step number 1, read the question. Step number 2, categorize it as A, B or C, and it should not take more than 10 to 20 seconds. Okay, so first of all, I've read the question. So reading the question might take somewhere around 10 to 15 seconds if it's a question of quant. If it's a question of LRDI, it may take 1 minute or 1.5 minutes. If it's a reading comprehension, I'll not suggest, just get into the reading comprehension and start answering. If it is a question of para jumbles or summary type questions, then again you can get into those questions. So this particular strategy will be more helpful when it comes to quant and somewhat helpful when it comes to the questions of LR and DI. All right. So after reading the questions, whatever time that you are taking, if it is an LR set, then I will suggest to spend at least 1 minute and look at the different types of conditions which are given. If it's a set of data interpretation, then have a look at the form in which the data is given. Now, it doesn't matter like if the data is given in the form of bar chart or pie chart or tables, just analyze the numbers that are there in this data. So if the numbers are simple, if the percentage values are not too complex, they can be easily converted into fractions, then you can go ahead and have a look at this particular question. Otherwise, if the numbers are complex and big, if the percentages are also not favorable, then you can decide to leave that particular set because calculations will consume a lot of time. Okay. So after reading, categorize the question as A, B and C. Now, what is this A, B, and C? So type A questions are the type of questions which I want to solve immediately. All right. So these are easy questions. These are less lengthy questions. So I want to solve immediately. So if let's say a question is categorized under category A, then you must solve it immediately. Next category, B, type B question. So type B question are the type of questions on which you will return to solve the question in the second round. Yes. So we will be solving a particular section in 2 or 3 rounds. Okay. So in round 1, I'll be solving all the questions which are categorized under A. In round 2, I'll be coming to all the questions which are categorized under B. And if I have, let's say, 5 or 6 minutes left, which is difficult nowadays because we have only 40 minutes for a particular section. So when we used to have 60 minutes for a particular section, then we could have afforded to like complete the paper in 3 parts: round 1, round 2 and round 3. So आजकल अब 40 minutes का question paper है. So 40 minutes में you will not be able to come back and do the round 3 for these type of questions. Okay, so round 1, round 2, let's say in 40 minutes also last में 2-3 minutes बच जाते हैं, then you can come and look at the questions which are categorized under category C. So when I'm reading these questions for the first time, I'll categorize them as A, B and C. So how do I attempt a particular question or a particular section? So I went to a question. Let's say if I am able to categorize it under A, so I'll solve it immediately. Okay, I'll tell you different factors to decide or to put them in these categories. If I put a question in category B, so what I'll do is I'll not solve that question, but I will bookmark that question. Please make a note of it. We never use this facility that is provided in the question paper, bookmarking a particular question. Fine. So I'll bookmark that question so that I don't have to search for that question during the end of the section, right? So I'll bookmark that question, and in the second round, I'll come back to all these questions which I have bookmarked. All right. Then if I have some time in round 3, let's say last के 2-3 minute बचते हैं, 5 minute बचते हैं, so I'll come back to those questions which are categorized in type C category. All right. So this is what I'll be doing when I'll see a question, categorize it under A, B and C. All right. Now, what are these A, B and C type of questions? So type A questions are abhi karo, that means do it right now. Type B questions बाद में करो, do it later, I'll come back to these questions, wait. Okay. And type C question छोड़ दो, कभी नहीं करने question, just leave these questions because they are lengthy, they are going to waste a lot of time, or these are from our weak areas, right? So now let's elaborate on these types A, B and C. So type A questions, what are these type of questions, or what are the different criterias, what are the different parameters of putting a question under type A? Now first and the foremost important parameter is the question is very short. It's a one-liner or a two-liner question. अगर एक क्वांट का क्वेश्चन वन लाइनर है, टू लाइनर है, और एक DI का सेट, LRDI का सेट छोटा सेट है, if an RC passage is of less than 300 words or maybe of 300 words, then that should be our first and the foremost important criteria to get into that particular question or set or the reading comprehension passage. Okay, length is less, it will take us less amount of time to interpret that question. So सबसे पहले read करने में कम time लगेगा, interpret करने में कम time लगेगा. So possibly I'll be able to take a decision whether I want to continue with that question or I want to leave it. So type A questions, first criteria, first parameter is the length of the question. Second criteria is the questions which are from my strong area. So let's say if you're strong in arithmetic and modern mathematics, then you must select these questions if these questions are also short. Also, if you think that you are stronger when it comes to the LR sets having arrangements and scheduling, okay, तो आप वो वाला set select कर सकते हो. If let's say Venn diagram maxima minima is your strong area, you can go ahead and select it. Sometimes it happens that from games and tournaments we are unable to solve the questions, so I can put these questions on the back seat and move on to the next questions, right? So these are different parameters using which I can select or reject a question, or I can put them as category A, B or C. Fine. So type A questions, definitely अगर questions short है and it is from my strong area, I am going to pick it and solve it there and then. Fine. Let's move on to category B, type B questions. Now type B questions can be a little lengthy, maybe 3, 4 or 5 liner questions. Okay. Questions which are from your strong area, they are lengthy but are from my strong area, but their average or high level of difficulty. Okay. So lengthy question hai, but it's from my strong area, or let's say from the area in which I am comfortable, but level of difficulty is average or high. So what I can do is I can keep these type of questions in type B. Now what happens with us is, we saw a question that is from my strong area. Let's say arithmetic का question आ गया, time speed distance का question आ गया, but the question is lengthy and it is taking, or I know that the question will take a lot of time for me to solve. What we do is, because of our ego, we get into that question and end up wasting 4 or 5 minutes on that single question. Fine, we have got the answer, but we have wasted 4 or 5 minutes, and at the end of the examination, you will come to me and tell me, sir, there were 5 very easy questions and I could not attempt those questions. Are you understanding the mistake that you are committing? Okay, so what happens is, we have good amount of questions in the examination which can be done in less than 2 minutes. So why to attempt the questions which are taking 4 or 5 minutes and leaving behind those questions which will take 2 minutes? Fine. So you can keep these type of questions in type B category. Okay, put them on the back seat and you will always have a chance of coming back to these questions, but certainly after finishing up those questions which will take less than 2 minutes to solve. Okay, fine. So make sure that you are prioritizing things. ऐसा नहीं है कि तुमने मुश्किल questions attempt कर लिए so examiner खुश होके तुम्हें ज्यादा marks दे देगा. No, it never happens. All the questions will carry equal weightage. Fine. So please wake up, come into your senses and make a point that you will attempt only those questions which are less lengthy and are from your strong area, leaving behind those questions which may take more than 3 minutes to solve. They will be solved, so why not we can come back to them towards the end of the section. So 40 minutes can be divided in 2 parts, 25 minutes for type A questions and then 15 minutes for type B questions. Alright, so this is for type B questions. Next is type C. Now questions which are too long or complex, 5-6 liner है, language समझ में नहीं आ रही है. Okay, so there are like instances when the question ultimately is easy, but the language is complex. So we take good amount of time during the interpretation of these questions. So let's leave those type of questions. First line read किया, second line read किया, third line read करने के बाद समझ में आ गया that the question is complex. We are nowhere as far as the language is concerned. You can leave that question there and then. Understand again and again. You can always come back to the question if the time will be there. But if you waste your time in such questions, then the time will never come back. Okay, so questions which are too long or complex, the questions which are from your weak areas, which might take more than 4 or 5 minutes to solve, you can leave these type of questions completely. Questions which are from maxima, minima, functions, graphs, inequalities. Fine. So these are some areas that most of us will have a problem with. So what you can do is read that question, get into that question. Question को देखते के साथ ही मत छोड़ो. There might be some easiest of all questions which are from the areas of algebra. Fine. So just enter the question, spend 10 to 15 seconds on that question and then take a decision whether you want to categorize it as A, B or C. Alright, fine. So these are different criterias, these are different parameters you may use to categorize the questions in A, B, and C type of questions. All right, fine. So this is the strategy, my dear friends, that I was talking about, that you can start using from now onwards. Now, the most important thing that I must tell you now is getting used to this approach. Now, this approach is always there at the back of our mind. Okay, हम टेस्ट सीरीज में सोचते हैं कि we'll be using this strategy, but we end up wasting a lot of time and not using this strategy. Why? Because of lack of practice. So what you should be doing is apply this approach everywhere. Everywhere, yes. So starting from the topic test. So let's say today you have completed a topic of percentages. So it can be done for the students who are starting their preparation right now. अभी भी अगर start कर रहे हो, you can use this strategy every time. Okay. So let's say today I have started my preparation. In the next 2 days, I have finished the topic of percentages, profit and loss. Fine. This is the very first topic of our syllabus. Percentages, profit and loss finish kiya. And then obviously on the basis of your understanding, okay, you will be practicing some practice exercises. So let's say practice exercise has 30 questions. Now, initially the practice exercise, the level of difficulty will be low. So you can do is 30 questions, set a time limit of 45 minutes. Okay, now in these 45 minutes, try to maximize the number of attempts using the same strategy that I have just told you in this session. Okay, so at the very basic stage, if you are doing a proper practice of implementing this strategy, then I'm telling you, at each and every moment of your life, you will be using this strategy. You will understand how to prioritize things in your life as well. All right, so in these 45 minutes, you can first of all look at all the questions which you think are familiar, जो आपने प्रैक्टिस करते वक्त सॉल्व एग्जांपल्स किए थे, वो उनसे मैच करते हैं. Just select all those questions. Okay, finish them first and then look at the other questions. Doing this will definitely maximize your score in topic test, in sectional test, in mock test, and then finally in CAT 2022. All right, friends. So that is all about the strategy that you must use to maximize the number of attempts in your CAT 2022. Important is not applying this strategy. Important is practicing this strategy so that you can implement this strategy at 100%. All right. So that is all from my side. I hope you liked this session. Now some of the important piece of information for all of you. So this is the list of some of the toppers from our last year's CAT. The list is unstoppable. The list is never ending. So these are some of the students that have scored their final admits in some of the top B schools in the country. Now, in case you are looking to join any of the CAT 2022 comprehensive program at BYJU'S Exam Prep, these are all the details of the program that we have on the offering. So you can have a look at these details. And in case you want to have some more information, you want to join any of the batches, you can call to our counselor for the further details, right? So please do like this session, comment, share, and subscribe our channel. And after subscribing our channel, please press the bell icon so that you will not miss any of the notifications of all the upcoming sessions in the future. Follow us on Instagram, subscribe our YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep and press the bell icon. Like our Facebook page, join our Telegram channel. On our Telegram channel, you will get a chance to interact with all the faculty members. So all our faculty members will be there on this Telegram channel, and you can post your queries which will be resolved on this channel. Download our app from Google Play because there are lots of free sessions, lots of strategy sessions, lots of content sessions which we conduct on our app as well. That's all from my side, my dear friends. I hope you liked this session. Thank you very much and all the best for your preparation. Have a good day.